Get a lot of questions about fishing the grass lines in lakes, and a lot of these famous grass lakes, Toledo Bend, Sam Rayburn, Gunnersville, Pickwick. And the general rule of thumb for me on these grass lines, and it doesn't matter if it's hydrilla, milfoil, coontail, they all fish the same in that the general rule of thumb is in that cold water pre-spawn period, when that water's from 40 degrees up until about the mid-50s, those fish are primarily going to stop on that outside grass edge. And they use it as a staging spot. It's like a rest stop for them. As they come out of their wintering spots, they stop on that outside grass line, they hang out. I look for irregularities on that outside grass line. And then once that water starts to warm up, you look at your depth finder, you look at your temperature gauge, and now it's in the high 50s. It's 60, it's 65. That's generally when those bass are going to shift and start using that inside grass edge. Again, it's a staging area. They stop on that inside edge right before they get to the bank and spawn. Definitely use your temperature as a gauge. Depth-wise, I can tell you there's no rule, but if I had to give you an estimate on most of these places I fish, that outside grass edge is usually anywhere from about 8 to 15 feet of water. And then once that water gets in the high 50s and 60s, that inside grass edge is traditionally about 2 to 4 foot of water before you get to the bank. And great way to catch fish as they're coming and going. So we talked about the pre-spawn, outside edge, right before the spawn, inside edge. But the interesting thing is they use those two lines exactly the same when they're coming back out. So after those fish get on the bank and they spawn, and that water now is in the mid to high 60s, and they're done spawning, especially those big females, as they come back out, they'll stop on that inside line first. So high 60s to mid 70s, that inside line. And then once that water temperature starts getting real warm and they get in their summer pattern, they get back on the outside grass edge, especially the edges on ledges or points. Great way to catch staging fish. If you're a guy like me and you're not comfortable fishing for spawning fish, there's always fish staging on grass lines all the time.